Another bill that has had a lot of you talking on social media, House Bill 442, having to do with rental fees and deposits. And in a state like Idaho, one of the hottest real estate markets in the country, where rents are increasing pretty much at a rate some Idahoans can't keep up with, almost as much as houses themselves, it's hit a nerve. We touched a little bit on this yesterday. The bill, introduced by Representative Joe Palmer of Meridian, would, if passed, give homeowners and landlords more freedom to charge whatever they wanted for not only rent, but for application fees and deposits. Right now, that control belongs to local governments. Katya Stepovic joins us now to go over what the new bill would and would not mean. Katya?
Well, Brian, this bill would affect cities just like Boise, who already have a rental application fee cap in place. Now, that was passed back in 2019, and it currently is capped at $30. That money can only be used for hard costs like background checks and credit checks, and landlords or property management companies cannot profit off of those fees. But should House Bill 442 pass, it would remove all local control and put the decision to raise rents, fees, and deposits in the hands of landlords and homeowners. We heard from Representative Palmer yesterday while introducing the proposed new law. Take a listen.
Currently in Idaho code, the control of rent is not legal for local units of government to control that. It all depends on the landlord and how they set their rules and regulations. In the current legislation that we have, in current statute, it doesn't have anything about fees and deposits. I believe that was probably missed 30 years ago when they put this piece of legislation in. And so all this is basically, to me, is a cleanup bill we're going through and adding that into it. And so the basic addition to the bill is just the fees or deposits is also added on to it.
And as we mentioned earlier, the city of Boise passed its own rental fee ordinance. That was spearheaded by City Councilwoman Lisa Sanchez. And while those for the bill say it would offer protection to homeowners and landlords, Sanchez says property can be replaced and repaired. The damage on families for losing their homes, that's permanent.
Prior to us passing the 2019 ordinance, people were being taken advantage of. They were being scammed. We are going to have people living in their cars. We're going to have people losing their dignity. And we're going to have people being in harm's way. I consider having adequate housing to be part of a healthy community. I'm trying to remain hopeful that we have folks at the State House who are truly dedicated to helping our community members. But when I see this type of legislation being brought forward, it's really hard. It's hard to maintain that hope and that generous thinking towards others.
She says in 2021, the city of Boise conducted a housing needs survey, and 67% of renters could not afford the units the market is producing. The current average rent in Boise is over $1,400. Take this, for an average 880 square foot apartment. Rent has increased over the last year alone by 20%. And Brian, as we touched on earlier, and as you can imagine, this has a lot of people up in arms. Take a look at some of the comments we received on Facebook. Marcine Ross says Representative Palmer is definitely only representing landlords and not the people renting. Alex Morenez says while she generally leans towards a free market, she can't bring herself to believe this is the right time for legislation like this, given all the issues that Idahoans face today, particularly in housing. #priorities. And Jeremy Emmett says you cannot restrict private business. Go live somewhere else. All right, now the bill will be assigned a committee in the coming days and have a public hearing. And obviously, we will continue to follow this bill as it makes its way through the State House. If passed, it would be in effect on or after July 1st of 2022. Brian?
All right, well, Katya, I guess a lot of people can get behind that idea of a deposit. You have somebody who may be at risk, maybe doesn't have the best credit or rental history. You want to increase the deposit, that's fine. But it's the fees that I think a lot of people get burned on, because you pay these fees and you don't even get the place a lot of times.
You pay them and they tack them on somehow and get people to pay them. And exactly, they're not reimbursed for those fees, and they might not even ever get that rental house.
Yeah, so it's kind of discriminating, I guess, at the yeah. All right, we'll see how this goes.
Scam.
Yep. All right, thank you very much, Katya. Well, as Katya mentioned, we talked about this briefly during yesterday's show. We also got another text from Kurt who asked, does Representative Palmer own rental property? Kind of alluding to the fact that maybe he's proposing this legislation because he wants to increase fees when he's renting out places. Good question considering the subject. Katya mentioned we reached out to Representative Palmer several times over the past couple of days, hoping to get his input on the bill, ask him those questions, but we haven't received any response as of yet. We were able to do a little bit of investigating ourselves through open records, meaning anyone who has access to this information, but we could not find any information indicating Mr. Palmer does own any rental properties within the state of Idaho.